Greetings, Marines. I'm Sgt Landrum, and today I'll be speaking on the validity of the New Testament and Scriptures, specifically the birth, crucifixion, death, and resurrection of Jesus Christ, and how historians use the New Testament to study life in the first century to this very day. Sir Lionel Luckhoo, who holds the world record for most defense cases won, once said, "I say unequivocally that the evidence for the resurrection of Jesus Christ is so overwhelming that it compels acceptance by proof, which leaves absolutely no room for doubt." I'll begin with textual integrity. The Rylands Papyrus, which is one of the earliest fragments of the New Testament we found, dates to roughly 100 AD, which is just 60 years after the resurrection. That's called a manuscript. We have over 5,800 manuscripts in Greek, over 10,000 in Latin, over 9,300 in other languages like Syriac, Coptic, and Armenian. Most of these manuscripts are from the 2nd century, which is pretty cool. In comparison, Homer's Iliad has only 1,800 manuscripts, with the earliest being written 5 centuries after the original. Thanks to the New Testament's historical reliability, we know that Paul's letters to the Corinthians was written probably around 50 to 60 AD and directly mentions the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus Christ. Now you might ask, but Sgt Landrum, aren't Paul's letters in the New Testament? Yes, they are. And that brings me to my next point, internal consistency. The New Testament was written by over 9 different authors across different times, places, and languages, yet their core message remains the same. They all agree on Christ's identity, his death, and his resurrection, as well as his teachings. These authors faced horrific deaths: impalement, decapitation, crucified upside down, boiling oil, flaying, and being sawn in half. Yet none of them are canted. And so you have to ask yourself, who would die for a lie? Now that we've talked about internal consistency, let's talk about external consistency. Tacitus, in Annals Volume 15, written around 100 AD, mentions Nero's persecution of the Christians and where these Christians come from, and references Pontius Pilate, the Roman prefect of Judah. Flavius Josephus, born in 37 AD, also a historian and Jewish military leader, wrote of Jesus' resurrection in Antiquities of the Jews, and that was written in 93 AD. Finally, we have archaeological evidence. The Pilate Stone, which is a limestone engraving from 26 AD, found in the modern-day West Bank, confirms Pontius Pilate's role in Judah. Remember that Rylands Papyrus? It preserves John 18:31 through 33 and 37 through 38, where Jesus speaks directly to Pilate, which I think is really cool because it serves as this link between archaeology and scripture. In conclusion, while faith shapes how we view the New Testament spiritually, its textual preservation, historical proximity, internal and external consistency, and archaeological support make it highly credible as a historical document, especially when compared to other ancient texts.